Good evening everyone and welcome to Experience South Africa's TCR 2022 Championship, coming to you live from Tsukuba in Japan. Quite a few drivers not here tonight, so this will be our lowest number attendance for this series, which is quite surprising because it's actually one of the few that we've actually pushed over 24 per round. So anyway, very close run championship so far. I'm a bit rusty. We've missed 2 weeks of streams with AC, so almost have anxiety streaming AC tonight. But anyway, it looks like it's going to be quite close at the front, some extremely close times there, and I imagine that race 2 is going to be a great opportunity for the guys that are here tonight. So we do see at the moment Dylan Fasaki's on top. That's not a very relative time, but he was into the 58.5s in practice before this, and his closest contender was Basil on a 58.9, I believe. So let's see if Basil can push it to the limit and keep up. But welcome to everyone in the comments as well. As usual, our regular Cleopas. He's I presume he just lives here in the comments. He's always here, he's the first one here, he's the last one to leave. So how's it Cleopas, how's it Melvin, how's it Denise, and Craig, and I forget who Hawkmaster is. I know the name Hawkmaster, I forget the name behind it, but how's it? And thank you for joining us. Alright, as the times are now starting to come in, Dylan with a 58.7 and Mickey on a 58.9, so pretty close at the front already. So just over 12.5 minutes to go, and the top 9 have already put in times. So this round on, Keon will be taking over from Melvin. That's Melvin's son taking over, so welcome Keon. Glad to have you with us, and good luck. So, at the moment we have Dylan from pole position, from provisional pole position, from Mika Abrams from Basil Rain. Now Basil, I'm sure, is going to improve. He's on a 59.0 at the moment. Jason now on a 59.3. He was on a 59.0 in the practice session before. Peter Kruber on a 59.3. So very, very close to the front. 59.4, Andre Hildebrandt. I see Dylan Fasaki is on a 58.6. Okay, that's the same. Donnie Stander on a 15. Someone's changed to 59.8. That's Jean-Andre Dupinard just done a 59.0. Jumping up to third. Only a fraction ahead of Basil from Rain at the moment. Rian van der Beste is currently in 12th on a minute 26. Peter Murray on a 101. And Keon Kroos on a I'll certainly hope that that's not his lap time of a 3 minute 20. It's definitely not a relative time. Waiting for the action to sort of happen, trying to see what I'm looking for, if that makes sense. Let's give you a rundown of the current championship points at the moment. So in first place we have Stephen Caslin on 239 points. In second place we have Dylan Fasaki on 235 points. In third place Peter Kruber on 229. In fourth place Jason Nell on 224. Now those are the only 4 drivers capable of winning the championship. In 5th place we have Melvin Kroos, who is no longer driving with us since Keon is taken over. He's on 177, Mika Abrams on 166, Basil van Rain on 164 in 7th place, Ross Human on 158 in 8th, Attila Achal on 131 in 9th, Sean Olivier in 10th on 126, Tommy Leary Moss in 11th on 113, Jean-Andre Dupinard in 12th on 110, Gilly Silver in 13th on 101, Andre Hildebrandt in 14th on 87, Sean Johnson in 15th with 74 points, and Rian van der Veste is in 16th with 69 points, which happens to be his driving number. Mario Claessens in 17th on 68, Donnie Stander in 18th on 57, James Leach in 19th on 56, and Sean Cahill in 20th on 41 points. I won't read out the rest because it's still a very long list. In total we have 32 drivers at the moment. So tonight we only have 14 drivers, so a lot of them absent tonight. Of course next week will be the final round, so hopefully we'll have a good final and send off to the series. So I'll update you on the points as we finish race 1 and finish race 2, and then in interviews we can just relate to the changes. Alright, so times are coming thick and fast at the moment. So the top 12 and the 59s and below. So it's Dylan Fasaki from Basil van Rain. Sorry, Basil van Rain. Is it Van Rain? Yes, Van Rain. Mika Abrams, Stephen Caslin, Jean-Andre Dupinard, Peter Kobler, Jason Nell, Keon Kroos, Sean Olivier, Andre Hildebrandt, Ross Human, Donnie Stander, Rian van der Westhuizen and Peter Murray. Particular track I'm very familiar with from the days of Forza 3, because the first time I ever got to drive it. Forza 3, Forza 4, or if you're one of those that pronounces it Forza. And good evening to Mike in the chat as well. For the win. Yes, you can't count him out ever. He's definitely got speed. I was also saying, this track I'm familiar with from the days of Forza, where we used to drive on a regular basis just for fun nights. Drive the Alpha Meter around here, which made for great racing in a slow car around this track. It's actually a fantastic track for racing. These cars certainly seem to do well here, as most of these sort of slower sort of tin top cars do. Alright, so hopefully all the audio levels are fine. For some reason I'm not hearing everything that I should on my end, but I just did a brief check on my phone and it sounds like everything is fine on YouTube, so if there's any issues please let me know. Alright, as we're getting a little shot here of Peter Murray. Fantastic looking Audi. It's my favourite of the cars design wise. Certainly looks good. My least favourite would probably have to be the Lincoln Co. But the Lincoln goes fast, and most fast cars look a lot better. So the times at the front haven't changed much. We still have Dylan Versaki on a 58.614, Basil van Rijn on a 58.734, so very, very close there. Mika Abrams on a 58.933, Stephen Castellan on a 58.991, so top 4 in the 58s. So this should be pretty good. Race 2 is going to be interesting as well. John Dupinov not much off that on a 59.0, so extremely close at the front. As we have just over 5 minutes left to go. Peter Kroba, 59.1, Jason Nell, a 59.2, Kian Gross, a 59.2, Sean Olivia on a 59.4, Andre Hildebrandt, 59.4. So, very, very close time. Ross Human also a 59.4. Donnie Stander on a 59.8. So, yeah, very, very close times. We see Peter Murray has now finally got ahead of Rian van der Westhuizen, but only just. So extremely close there between those two guys as well at the back. Not sure why, but whenever I stream R-Factor, I feel much more comfortable than when I stream Assetto Corsa. Assetto Corsa, I just feel like I'm missing things. I don't have the same control. So I sometimes like now, just staring at the screen, wondering what to do. But anyway, let's hope for a good race tonight with just over 3 minutes of qualifying time left. The times are certainly very, very close, so expecting there to be a little bit of paint exchange in the race. But hopefully it's all good. See Mika waiting on the pit exit there. Thank you, Mika, for that. Versaki just running a bit deep there. Not sure if he was off-sighted by Mika there. Yeah, with the lap times being this close, race 2 is going to be, well, it's going to be one hell of a race to watch, because, you know, a guy that's only a second slower than the guy in front is going to be extremely difficult to pass. So if the guy can make his car wide enough and take the correct lines, it's going to be very difficult to make a pass, and certainly make a clean pass. So I imagine that there will be a few dive bombs, which will probably be the only way to get past. Take a real lunge up the brakes and just make sure you keep it nice and tight. That's Stephen currently in third place, still on a 58.8. So our championship contenders at the moment, it's Dylan who's in second in the championship, who's on provisional pole, and Stephen who's leading the championship, who's in third place. With only a couple of points between them, it's everything to play for now. And now Jason is now playing the team game, jumping ahead of Stephen, so doing good for his team, eh? A minute and a half left to go, he can probably jump out and get another lap or two in. Quite a few of the drivers are on the pits at the moment. Right, so on the timing screens at the moment, I'm not seeing anything lighting up. So let's see if the last minute and a bit, probably get another lap, maybe 2 laps in. They cross the line just before timer runs out. Let's see if anyone can do any damage right in the final minute. Right, as we're watching Stephen now, personal best in sector 1. Which is a very good time in sector 1 at 22.560. We have a personal best in sector 1 for Jean, but he went into the pits after that. Sure, Olivia unfortunately not doing a personal best, but not too far off in sector 1. Personal best in the middle sector for sure. And Stephen unfortunately wasn't able to improve in his middle and last sector, and then heading off into the pits. Right, so Dylan on a not his best first or second sector. How about Mick also the same, not his best in the first or second. Kian also not his best in the first sector. Looks like Kian and Sean are the only two that could possibly improve. And Sean is an average middle first sector, sorry. Alright, here's the final two guys coming up to the end of the lap. Let's see, will Kian be the first to improve? Right, so neither of them improving. Alright, let's jump to an ad break, and when we come back we'll start the action. So we'll be right back. Alright, welcome back everyone. So as we prepare now for race 1 of the TCR 2022 Championship, coming to you live from Tsukuba in Japan, round 9 of the championship out of 10. Just noticing some of the pings went quite high, but now it's settled. Okay, that's all good. Right, so this should be an exciting race. Let's see how wide the guys can make their cars. Hopefully it's a clean start and everyone can have a good race. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty close. So 10 seconds to go. A couple of drivers still in the pits at the moment. Alright, and we're off. Dylan getting it nice and clean, getting a slight tap from Basil there. Stephen right behind Jason at the moment. Mick also not too far back, so the pack extremely close at the moment. Mick's car is hard to miss with that nice orange colour scheme, it stands out. Kian right behind Peter as well. So SRAC guys, or SRA, having a nice close battle there as well. Ross and Andre right there. Ooh, a little bit barging there. I'm not sure who that was. I think it was Ross going up the inside of Andre. A few passes happening already. So Stephen up to second place now, so it's Open Championship fight at the moment, so that's brilliant. So now Basil going up the inside. So Basil getting in on the action here. Stephen's going to have to get ahead of Basil and hook onto the back of Dylan for all he's worth, because his championship depends on it at the moment. Can't afford to be more than one place behind. So Jason L still sitting nice in fourth place, just playing the perfect tail gunner there. If anything happens, he can pounce. Only half a second behind as well. Sean Olivier right behind him now as well. Mick Abrams having dropped down to sixth place now. So Stephen up to second place again now. Can he get a slight gap on Basil? He needs to get his head down, get in a clean lap. Now 1.6 seconds behind Dylan, but that's not too bad points wise for the championship. Of course in race 2 he'll be in front of Dylan at the start. Or he'll be second last and Dylan will be last. But it's a chance to maybe get some extra points. How far at the top there, the Alwyn sponsor, so thank you very much to Alwyn again for making all this possible and sticking with us for so long. Nicker up the inside of Ross there, I think. No, it was Sean, Sean. Like I say, lots of paint swapping will happen here, just the nature of the track, very tight track. And now Mick is under attack. I believe that's Basil. And Peter Woodlawn now in on the action as well, sitting nicely there. You make a small mistake here, you're really going to get swallowed up by the pack. Oh, they're Sean tapping Mick into turn 1. Hopefully there's no serious damage. He's going again. Unfortunately he's dropped quite far down now, so he's now down to 10th place. So that was a bit of a lunge by Sean, it didn't quite pay off. That's the gap from, or between Dylan and Stephen is still 1.6, 1.7. That is an absolute race and see if it's going to come down. Jason now is now up into third place, which is quite important because that means he's right there to protect Dylan if anything happens. And Peter Croft has also worked his way up to fourth place now. Peter Krobler's third in the championship at the moment. He's 10 points behind Steven. If he can have a good round, although he's just been passed by Sean, if he can have a good round, he can maybe catch some points. Tends to come good as well, so as the race progresses, he seems to look after his tyres pretty good. Although the last round, they say that he didn't actually. Shortcuts there. Seems like everyone's managed to survive it for now. The bumping there. They're managing to get the better of it. Oh, lots of tapping and barging. Oh dear. I think Peter's facing the right way though. I think he got tapped by 4 different cars there. That's unfortunately the nature of driving in a big pack. Sean now getting tapped there in the front wheel drive, just put your foot down. It rectifies it, getting a nice sideways moment there. There's Chandra working his way past now. Okay, Abrams now up to 8th place and catching again. Now up to 7th place actually. So is Mika seeing the red mist at the moment after being knocked off, and he's knocked off again. Looked like Sean forgot to brake there. Battle scars on Mika's car there at the moment. Side all dented in, the rear bumper buckled up. So all the while Dylan is slowly pulling away from Steven. So Steven not seeming to have any response to Dylan. Gap up to now about 3 seconds, or just under. And Jason now still the second behind Steven. So Steven's going to have to start looking behind him very soon. Jason is very close, too close for comfort actually. And all the while all the action's going on, Kieran has quietly crept up to 4th place. So, good time so far by Kieran as well. Yonder Dibbinar now in 5th place, Basil in 6th. And Basil maybe also been involved in some of the battles. Sleeman has slowly made his way forward up to 7th, and Andre Hildebrand also up to 8th. Sean Olivier now down to 9th, with Abrams 10th, Peter Krobler 11th. Unfortunately Peter was the victim of some track, how would you say, a battle gone wrong between probably 5 different cars. Almost 8 laps in, we're locking up there. Mika and Sean again at it. Taking full advantage of the extra painted rumble strip on the left there on the exit of the corner. Very few guys actually use that, but you're allowed to use that at this part of the curbing. It's been concreted for a reason. Basil hasn't been able to put on more of a challenge, but this is what I say, he's got the speed, but to get past when the speed difference is so minuscule, is near impossible on a track like this. That's what makes it so fantastic to race on. You have to really strategize and plan ahead and try and work out how you can catch the guy out, outsmart him wherever you can. give him a dummy, make him think you're doing something. As Mickey now makes a move on Ross. Now heads off after Sean again. So it looks like Sean and Mickey are slowly working their way back through the pack after the tangle on track. Looks like Basil is very, very close to Gendre. Gendre is pretty close to Kian. So a nice three-way battle there for 4th place. Unfortunately, it's not a podium, but if anything happens in front, then it will be. But not much happening. Every time I look at the timing sheet, I'm looking for positions to change, but not much is happening. So everyone's kind of just sitting station at the moment. Maybe it's the calm before the storm. We're just past the halfway mark. Peter now. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to attack. I think Peter's actually past Ross, and maybe Peter's going to be the one that's just going to pull away now. Looks like the gap is starting to extend. Ross has been passed by Sean, Mika, and now Peter. Extremely close to Jean. He's going to stick it up the inside now. No. As you see Mika locking up his front right going to turn 1, I believe. Really getting a nice sideways moment there. Brakes there and stepping up. So right behind Sean now, so he's caught up a little bit through the middle sector. Sean having to be defensive now, he's going to lose a little bit of drive here. Trying the cutback, but unfortunately he's not able to get on the power early enough in these cars. Very difficult to do that move. So Jason Mel's times are pretty consistent at the moment between himself and Steven. So that gap's pretty consistent at about just over a second, 1.1 seconds. But Steven is now just showing over 4 seconds there, depending on the part of the track of that. Looks like Dylan's got this in the bag at the moment. I believe there's only a 2-point difference between each position, so Dylan will be gaining 2 points on Steven by being ahead of him, but if he sets the fastest lap of the race, he'll also get a point. So the point difference being 4 points at the moment, after this it should be down to 1 point between Stephen and Dylan. And I believe that Jason will then be ahead of Peter as well, so Jason will jump up to third in the championship. So yeah, very close between those four. Slightly some mistakes and it's costing you a point or two, and that's if you drop a place or two in the championships. Taking a look there, just want to see it straight away, turning in as early as you can for the apex. Jason really hounding Stephen at the moment, 0.6 of a second, so that's now also going to start slowing Stephen down and to drive defensive. 4 minutes left to go. Can he hold off Jason? That'll be crucial for the championship. If Jason can get past him, that'll put Dylan up into the lead in the championship. With effectively 3 races left to go, 1 this evening and 2 more next week. Close between them. A little bit of smoke there, Stephen getting it sideways. And if Jason's going to be close enough to capitalize on that, I don't think so. But he's right there, definitely giving Stephen something to think about. The cars are pretty much bumper to bumper through the upfield. No one's really able to make much of a move. I think race 2 is going to be fantastic. The guys trying to work their way through the field when the field is so tight. Look at right over the curb. Bit of a desperate move by Mika there. I guess he had already committed, had nowhere to go. Once Sean turned in, he had to try and avoid contact, go over the inside curb. In the chat, how's it, Gideon? Good to have you as well. I haven't heard from you in ages. Gideon's saying he's pretty busy with Matric at the moment. So yeah, good luck with Matric, and glad you got your priorities straight and that you're focusing on that, not your racing at the moment, but hope to see you sometime in the future. So we're into the final minutes. All kinds of contact happening everywhere there. Sean hitting the back of Peter. So it looks like it's going to stay Dylan Fasaki from Stephen Castellan from Jason now, if Jason can't find a way past, which it looks like he can't. In the comments, guys saying that Peter's had the real run of the bad luck. Yes, he has, unfortunately, for quite a few rounds now, actually. So what could have been, but definitely got the pace. Just needs a bit of luck. So the leader's now on the final lap. Sean getting really close to the back of Peter Grobler there. Back from Nicker's car, it's Peter and Sean. Looks like Stevens managed to open up the gap just slightly from Jason as well, from 0.6 down to 0.8, 0.9. Alright, I believe that's the end of it. Everyone coming across the line now to finish. Oh, sorry, it's saying leaders on the... Oh, he's just started the final lap. Bit of a lonely drive for Dylan in front of the gap now to about 6 seconds. I'm sure he's not worried about lonely if he's going to be taking the championship lead. But he won't be just yet because Steven looks like he's held off Jason. So Jason will get third, the final podium. Steven will get second. Managing to maintain his lead in the championship by probably a single point. Ronda Dupinar taking 5th from Keon in 4th. Basil van Rijn in 6th. Mika taking 7th in the end. Peter Grobler taking 8th. Good salvage for Peter. He's had quite a rough race. Lots of paint exchanging. Managing to finally come over 9th. Andre getting a fantastic 10th place. Ross Human in 11th place. Donnie Stunder in 12th place. Peter Moraes crossed the line already in 14th. And Rian van der Westhuizen coming up to the line now and taking 13th place. Alright, so we're going to head off to a ad break. When we come back, we can do a refresh on the championship points and enjoy race 2. Alright, welcome back everyone to the Experience SA TCR Championship of 2022, coming to you live from Tsukuba in Japan for round 9. Proudly sponsored by Oulton. Go to oulton.co.za to get any automotive style glass or aluminium. Right, while we're waiting for everything to happen, let's have a look at the points and see how they have changed since race 1. So going from race 1, there was a 4-point difference. We now have a 1-point difference as we get going. Right, Peter Murray heading off into turn 1 first. Looks like Donnie standing up on the inside from Rian van der Westhuizen, and looks like Ross Human trying to get up the inside of Rian there. Andre Hildebrandt's fighting off Peter Krobler at the moment. Not too sure what's happening at the back of the pack. That's where I'm sure the action is going to be happening. Stephen Kastler now has 2 cars between himself and Dylan, so that is crucial for the championship. Peter Murray doing fantastic at the moment, holding off the likes of Donnie and Rian there and Ross. Seems to be a bit of a gap between Ross and Peter, but Ross looking strong at the moment. Ooh, lots of barging there. In the background we see Stephen Kastler running wide. Just when I thought things were looking great for the championship, things have not gone his way. Alright, so Dylan is now up to 10th and Stephen is down to 13th. Someone heading off there. Not sure who that was. I think that might have been Kian that went off there. Oh, looks like he's had a disconnect. What a shame. I thought something looked a bit odd the way he went sort of straight off there. Right, so Rian van der Westhuizen now holding off Ross Human from Donnie Stander. So it looks like Peter Murray is slowly being swamped by everyone. Alright, so Donnie Stander currently getting passed by Sean Olivier. So Sean now up into the podiums and looking good, and Robbie's at the moment in 5th place. Looking up the inside of Donnie, possibly into the final turn. Donnie getting a lot of space. It looks like Mikkel might even put up the inside as well. Yes, indeed. Basil now sitting right behind Donnie. He's probably going to dive up the inside there as he is. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Managing to at least make the pass stick. Could have been closer between them. Donnie having to think about going up inside of Basil there, but thinking better of it. So Dylan in 9th place, Stephen in 11th at the moment. Those are important championship drivers, and Peter Krobler in 4th place. So at the moment Stephen is on 257 points, Dylan is on 256, and Peter is on 240. And Jason now is also on 240. So extremely close at the moment. So Peter will take back 3rd, well, extend his 3rd over Jason now at the moment, which they're tied for. That's Dylan Saki now all over the back of Andre Hildebrand, can he get past? So Nico Abrams has now made his way up into 3rd place ahead of Rian van der Westhuizen. So Ross still holding off Sean Olivier with Nico Abrams now in 3rd. Rian now demoted down to 4th, Peter Krobler right now behind Rian van der Westhuizen. Even getting the sideways there, you see Nico once again behind Sean Olivier. Yeah, battle from race 1 commencing, or continuing. From Nico already, and as he's there. We have another battle. Peter on Basil. Peter, this is a crucial chance to gain some points back in the championship. So at this range you could gain back 6 points. I'm not sure what happened there with Jeandre and Andre having a bit of contact there, and Andre coming off second best. Somehow managed to get past Dylan and all of the chaos that's been happening. I think there's been a little bit of argy-bargy and somehow Dylan has lost out and Stephen has got past. So a nice three-way battle at the front. Podium guys have a slight gap of about 3 seconds over Rian at the moment. Gaston's now going to be all over the back of Rian. In fact, Basil is now past here. Dylan is also sitting right there behind him, as is Peter Tsukuba. So the championship 1, 2 and 3 sitting in a nice pack together there. So who's going to be able to capitalize the most? So Tsukuba's going around the outside of someone there and managing to keep a good position. Jason having a good fight there. So Mika managing to get past Ross now into second. So now it's Mika and Sean Olivier again. Battle from race 1 is now at least the battle for the lead here. Losing 4th place. Rare now, I think a bit too much there. I'm not sure if Dylan's going to be able to stick it up the inside here. No, he was able to defend pretty well there. Guys are just seeing the guys in the front pulling away and they're trying to get past as quick as they can, but they just can't. It's just too difficult to make a move. You're going to lose so much time. And then you're in a pack like this, you're going to be so careful where you place your car because you're likely to touch the other guys around you. Looks like we are running slightly wide there. Coming back on safely at least. So unfortunately we are dropping down to 10th place now. Donnie's standing in that distance behind him. So Sean Olivier from Mika Abrams at the moment, from Ross Human. Basil van Rijn still in 4th place, Stephen Castling in 5th, Peter Koblar 6th and Dylan Fasaki in 7th. So at the moment Stephen's doing everything he can to hang on to the championship, so he'll probably gain another 2 points here and end up with a 3 points lead going into the final race weekend next weekend. In fact, he'll gain 5 points because it's Peter that's behind him. So Peter will actually gain 2 points on Dylan Fasaki. But I think that's going to be very difficult for Peter to catch him at the moment. But never say never. And as Craig was saying, Peter never gives up. Nice trains of cars, yes, the guys obviously slowly holding up the pack until the pack can split enough. So we see the battle for first and second. It's Mickey now right behind Sean. Then about a 2 second gap to Ross and then a couple of seconds, about 3 seconds back to Basil, and then there's a whole train of probably 8 cars. 6 cars really, so it's judge Jason having a look up the inside of Dylan. Maybe he thinks Dylan is just not up to speed at the moment. He wants to have a go at it himself. Sometimes that's a good move to do as a team. Let your teammate pass to have a go. Maybe he can get the car in front unsighted or force him to wear the tyres out while you just relax a bit and then you drop the places back and then you have fresher tyres in position. Jason definitely looking very racy with his teammates. Yeah, looking up the inside even. Very risky to go for a move on your team though, or your teammates. Especially when his teammate is so close when it comes to the championship lead. And at this point, every point is, Dylan has to have every point, because at the moment Steven is just going to be easing away from him slightly with about a 5-point gap going into the final meeting. We see Rian and Donnie having a good battle in the back of the field. Here we have, well, actually battle for 10th. Here we have Mika and Sean having a good battle. Mika getting right up behind. So he's pushing slightly on Sean's car there. Not sure if Sean's going to risk drifting his car out to the apex, or out to the curb, sorry. Someone was saying that the front left tyre is taking quite a beating around this track, which I can believe. So many right hand corners here. Lots of smoke on the guys kicking rear and slightly out. Really in the mix there. It's two teammates pushing each other nicely there. Jason just giving Dylan a little bit of a love tap. So in the meantime, while I'm watching this, Mika has managed to get past Sean Littlefair for the lead. So it's Mika from Sean and from Ross. Looks like Sean was getting a little out of shape there in the distance. So 7 minutes to go. Stephen currently in 5th place, Peter in 6th and Dylan in 7th. Jason locking up slightly wide there. I can quite believe how close the pack is, because I mean there's virtually no point where you can have a safe move. Every move that you make now is going to be a risky move. Unless the car in front of you makes a slight mistake and gives you the opportunity to actually open up an opportunity or make an opportunity, is near impossible at the moment with lap times being so close. Dylan certainly gets close on the brakes to Peter into turn 1. takes a slightly wider line, gets a nice exit, but it's just not enough to be able to do anything with it. He's quicker at a point where it doesn't help him. So Stephen has managed to get past Ross, so Stephen is now up into 4th place. And managing to get past Basil as well, so up to 3rd place. It looks like Peter Kulba's also managed to slip past there, so it looks like Basil is fighting back. Stephen on the outside there. Is Basil going to take the line? Looks like he did, yes. Ross, the big loser in all of that, dropping from 3rd down to 8th place now. The biggest gain in there was Stephen. I was going to say Peter Krobo, he's just now dropped 2 places. So at the moment it's Stephen and Dylan right amongst each other again. Once again Dylan is behind Stephen. Dylan needs to get ahead. So at this point in time, Dylan, I guess he would have had the fastest lap in race 1. I'm not sure if he's going to have the fastest lap in this race, but he would have gained 3 points overall by the end of the weekend, probably. But that's probably not going to be enough. It's going to be a championship won by the slimmest of margins. Thankfully we don't have any half points, so it's all full points. But the point structure is 2 points per position and a point for fastest lap and a point for pole position as well. Jason and Peter getting bargy there. So Nicky now coming under threat from Basil. Basil like right behind him at the moment. If I was seeing that correctly. No, I wasn't. He's off in the distance. Basil that's coming under threat from Sean and Dylan. And Stephen has now managed to drop down a few places. I'm not sure what happened to Stephen there. But that's crucial for the championship. And Sean taking back 3rd from Dylan. So now Dylan has got Jason playing the perfect team game right between himself and Stephen. And Stephen getting a bargy with someone there. I believe that was with Jason. Maybe just trying to move on Jason there. I think it's Peter and Jandra in the background having a bit of exchange of paint as well. Right, so a minute and a half to go, plus an extra lap. So at the moment it looks like Dylan actually might take the championship lead. But the race isn't over yet, lots to happen still. Dylan really fighting hard there to get past Sean. Just exchanging a lot of paint again. To get your elbows out on this track to make a pass. don't think there's one car that doesn't have any scrape marks on it. Looks like every single car has scrape marks on it. And dings in the bodywork. The mechanics aren't going to be happy. But he is going to be happy. He's probably going to be Mika, Basil and Dylan at the moment because their positions are 1, 2 and 3. And Dylan probably going to be taking the lead in the championship, so I'm sure he's going to be very happy. So a little bit of paint loss and a little dings in the body is not a problem at the moment. And making a move there on Basil now as well to turn 1. Taking a much tighter line in, managing to get the car stopped in time. Basil now getting a little bit of contact from Sean behind, lots of contact in this race. Right, as we get the leader has 2 laps to go, meaning he's got 1 lap to go in a bit. 2 laps including this, and now he's on his final. Right, so Dylan's managed to get up into 2nd place. It looks like he's pulling a little bit of a gap now on Basil, and Basil has now lost 3rd place to Sean Olivier. So Sean's really fighting hard for his positions tonight. Kinds of tapping and that ends up getting the car sideways and goes across the curb and actually helped him. So Mika coming up to the final turn now. A great race for Mika. Looks like Jason is now still in 3rd place. How will it be crossing the line as Mika takes the checkered flag? And yet another win. Dylan coming up to the line to take 2nd place. Jason looks like he's got a solid 3rd, and Stephen under threat from Basil. That was pretty close there. Sean Olivier in 6th place, Pickle in 7th, Rossi in 8th, Leandre Dupinot in 9th, Brian van der Westhuizen looks like he'll get 10th place. Pretty solid drive, even though he made a mistake and lost out. If he didn't make that mistake, it would have been pretty good. In the background we see Donnie and Andre. It looks like Andre is going to maybe pip him for the line. Nope, managing just to keep Andre at bay there. And Peter Murray coming across the line to take the final place, 13th place. So well done to everyone. I'm going to jump to an ad break, then I'll catch the guys for the interviews and we can see what the current championship points are, and I'll catch you in a moment. All right, welcome back. We have a whole bunch of guys in the interview room with us now. So it's not just the top three. It was quite an exciting race from all points of view. So first of all, let's talk about the championship standings at the moment. So coming into this round, there was about a 5-point difference between Stephen Kessler and Dylan Fasaki. Currently, let's have a look at the current standings. But the way things
Dylan's won.
It's 1 point, Stephen.
Yes.
256 and 257.
1 point to you, Dylan. 250,
Yeah, 1 point to you.
275 versus 272. You obviously haven't refreshed your page after the last race.
Refreshed it, yeah, okay. Sorry about that.
So 3 points the lead at the moment. So Stephen, you've dropped down, but you now got Jason behind you in the championship as well. So SSRL 1 and 3 at the moment.
Yes.
So let's start with Dylan. Dylan, you've taken the championship lead. You had a fantastic race. I saw you having to fight really hard. I mean, it's a pretty tough track to make a pass. And I'm pretty sure there's not a single car in this race that didn't have scrape marks and dings in the car. So you had to fight hard for your positions. How did the race go from your point of view?
The first race, well, that was just kept my head down, and when I was in front, it was, I have to say, at minute 10, it started getting boring, because I saw every time when I look at my track map, it's like 4 or 5 guys battling each other corner to corner. And then when race 2 started, I was just like, well, at a tight track, someone has to give in some corner. So I just picked them off one by one until I got behind Peter and Steven, and that's sort of how I stuck the whole race. And then I think the last 5 minutes, that's when all fun started. And then it was just nail biting. I have to say, this has to be one of the most fun races that I had with everyone. And I have to say, even though there was a bit of a scraping here and there, it was still clean as hell.
Yeah, I think it's just one of it's the nature of this track. It's a very tight track. There's going to be all sorts of barging. The lap times between first and the last place were so close. I mean, in race 2, we saw how close the guys were for the majority of the race until 1 or 2 incidents that sort of spread the pack. But yeah, incredibly close. And then Stephen, you also had an incredible race, all sorts of action, up and down in the field, incident here, then you work your way back, another incident, go back, work your way back up again. Unfortunately, you've lost first place in the championship, but you're still right up there. You've got 3 points to gain going into the final rounds. How was it from your point of view?
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a walk in the park. I've been racing this track since 2004, and I was like, I know this. It's going to be a cakewalk. And then I saw the times first coming in through the week, and I was like, oh no. I also thought that having the shorter wheelbase car was going to help me, but on the last turn, it just seems like the longer, bigger cars had a clear advantage. But I believe, have the advantage on the hairpins. But all in all, yeah, Jason and Dylan and even Peter was very fast. And then Basil, trying to catch him I could not gain a beat on him in race 2. Until I think he tangled with Ross or someone, and yeah, then I don't know. It was a good race.
Olifir.
Was it Ulifir? No, not right at the end. I'm sure it was when he overtook Ross. There was a little thing on the second hairpin, and then, but yeah, all in all, was good. I just have to send. I don't know. I'll have to watch the replay and send a possible apology to Keen Goos. We went into the last turn side by side, and I was on the rumble strip, and he turned in, and he went off. I didn't wait. I thought it was a racing incident. We'll have to check.
No, I think he had a disconnect possibly there. So it might have just looked like that from your point of view, but I think he had a disconnect. I stand corrected though.
But yeah, other than that, it was because it's such a tight, slow track. The rubbing was pretty good.
Great stuff. And then Jason, from your point of view, you did a great job backing up Dylan throughout the races as well. So how was it from your point of view?
Yeah, it was same as Steven. I also, before we knew we had load shedding, I said to Dylan, I said, no man, we know this track, we're on pace, we don't have to practice much. And then coming back on tonight and seeing that Basil and Dylan's doing 58s, I'm like, oh shit, here comes trouble. So then I managed to pull a 58.7 in the last, I think there was 2 minutes left in the quali that put me on third. And I thought, geez, okay, I got Steven behind me. But let's go. But geez, once Steven passed me, man, I must take my hat off you, dude. There was so much pressure, and you just kept me behind you the whole race. And then, yeah, race 2, like Dylan said, I must repeat, it was probably the most exciting race I've done. I mean, we were like a 4 or 5 car pile up through the whole race. And I still thought to myself, normally every second race, the guys that won the top 5 are always, by the second lap, we in front again. And with this race, we were all mid-pack, but it was hectic. It was really nail-biting. And at the end, when Steven ran wide and I had to push my car through there, I thought, here we go, he's behind me now. But then he was putting the pressure on me. And then I think, Basil tangled a bit with Olivier there, and then that's when we passed there, and I just stayed behind Dylan, and yeah, finished. But what a race. It was a really hectic race.
Yeah, it's definitely the closest race we've had so far in these cars. I mean, the time difference and how close the packs were when the guys were in the packs. And it was just, you make a small mistake and you're going to lose quite a few places. And the guys that were trying to come through the field, like you say, in race 2, were having a real hard time at it. So, yeah, it's incredible to watch. And for most of the time, we were watching the mid-pack because that's where all the action was.
Yeah, I was impressed as well with all the guys that normally are 2 or 2 seconds off the pace in the other races. They were all we were all running the same times basically. And
Yes.
I was impressed to see that these folks are all in the front and we're battling the mid-pack each other to get to the front. So yeah, hectic fun, and yeah, thanks again for hosting Amazing Series. This was awesome. Can't wait to watch the stream now, to be honest.
Pleasure. All right, and then let's go to, I see Mika's mic is still muted, so we'll get to him last. Basil, how was the race from your point of view? You seem to have all sorts of luck in the race, back and forward as well. You clearly had the pace in qualifying. You showed you had the pace, but didn't seem to quite have the luck in the race.
No, I was battling with the brakes. Just kept locking up. I don't know if it was the extra fuel, but mid-race, the car just starts to understeer badly. And yeah, unfortunately, I went into Sean. But otherwise, yes, the racing was close. It was very nice.
Yeah, I see there's obviously a lot of unhappy guys about the contact, but unfortunately the nature of this track and with these cars the way they were, and because you're driving so close to the guy in front of you, the smallest mistake when you knock the guy, and it ends up sometimes being quite a big impact. There were 1 or 2 big impacts. Unfortunately, most of them involved Peter Krobler. He seemed to always get the worst end of it. But then there's 1 or 2 like between yourself and Sean as well, and there was even 1 between Sean and Mika as well, or 2 between Sean and Mika actually. So quite a few throughout the field, but just the nature of the track really.
Yeah, but all in all, it was nice. A lot of dive bombs and stuff, but clean. So
yeah, but that's the thing. The nature of the track. That's the only way you can make it pass. If you don't do a dive bomb, you're never going to get past. It's just too close.
No, exactly. No. But all in all, it was clean. So yeah, hand off to the guys.
Yeah, so well done. And then let's get to Sean. Sean, so from your point of view, there were all sorts of things happening through the race between yourself and Mika, between yourself and Basil, and yeah, quite an action-packed race. Race 1 and race 2. In race 1, you had a nice dice with Mika. Race 2, you had a nice dice with Mika. Lots of contact between you guys, but you guys seem to keep going at each other, so that was good to watch. How was it from your point of view?
It was lekker. First thing, Basil, just next time, take off your shoes, eh? Drive without shoes. And you won't have a problem with your brakes.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
No, it was a lekker race. Me and Basil. Dylan and Jason as well gave me a hard time. But yeah, other than that, it was hectic. It was lekker.
Yeah, the dying stages of the final race there, yourself, you were one of the few guys making places up. The guys seemed to sort of struggle to make passes, and you made quite a few passes, and I think about the span of 2 laps, you made, I think, 3 moves. And then it seems to go backwards and forwards, and yeah, but it was quite an eventful race for you.
Yeah, no, it was lekker.
Yeah, well done. And then Mika, yourself, you also, like I said, had an eventful race. Congratulations on race 2 victory. All sorts of barginess in the races, both races, but nature of the track, unfortunately. Lots of good racing throughout the field. How was it from your point of view?
Yeah, it was a good race. Essentially, Sean and I were just playing bumper cars. After he sent me off in the hairpin, I had such a struggle in race 1, and I had to make my way back up. But thankfully, we pulled away in the second race, and he locked up, or he didn't break into a hairpin, and I did a cutback and then got the move done. Finished first, and yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, I see a lot of the problems seem to happen in the second half of the races, and as some of the guys alluded, the tyres, once the tyres started to go, the guys definitely were struggling into the braking zones, either locking up or when they hit the brakes, they couldn't make the apex. So I saw probably half the field was having that sort of issue. So maybe some of the problems was also just due to tyre wear.
Yeah, I mean, my tires were cooked the whole race, so it definitely has something to do with it.
Yeah, unfortunately, once it sort of starts to slide, it's very hard to bring it back in AC.
Yeah,
But all in all, considering the nature of the track, the racing was fantastic to watch and really close battles throughout the field. And then hopefully you guys enjoyed having such a close race for a change. So that was really awesome to watch. So,
yeah, it was.
Sorry, what is that?
I say, yeah, it was very fun.
So I believe I've spoken to everyone. So I don't think I've missed anyone. So let's go from the top. Basil, any shout outs from your point of view?
Big shout out to the Redline sim racing group. Thanks for all the support. Cleopas on that YouTube. Yeah, he's just going crazy. I love Cleopas. And to all the guys, thank you. It was tough but clean racing. So next time.
Well done.
And also to you, Dennis. Thank you for hosting this amazing league.
Pleasure. Thanks. And Dylan, yourself, anyone you want to shout out?
See, just all the guys that we raced tonight, I have to say was damn close. And then, especially thanks to you, Dennis, for hosting such an awesome event. I think so far it has been quite a successful series and, quite enjoyable. And then, just well, then lastly, my father that's been supporting me and watching every stream and he, not missing anyone. So, just thanks for them.
Right, thanks to Mr. Fasaki. And Jason, any shout outs from your side?
Yeah, firstly, thanks, Dennis, for such an awesome event. It's been a lekker series so far. I think the finals are going to be hectic. I've got a couple of mates that's having heart palpitations at the moment, sending me messages saying, geez, it was nail biting. So, I want to give a shout out to my mate Tony and his wife, the Grellas, and then also Mornay Roos. I know he was watching. And to the rest of the guys supporting this, I mean, you guys must come and watch again next week. Give us some support again. It's always nice to see the comments and things afterwards. But big ups to Dennis, and we'll see you guys next week for the finals.
All right, thanks, Jason. And Mika, any shout outs from your side?
Just to my parents and to you for hosting an amazing event, everyone that drives, and that's it.
Cool, thank you. And Sean, shout outs from your side?
Just thanks for you, Dennis, for this nice event. Hope you will get another one at the next event.
Yeah, we've got something in the pipelines which we'll announce fairly soon, but yeah, definitely. Of course, we do have the R-Factor BMW. Not everyone likes R-Factor, so the guys that are into R-Factor, we've got the BMW Cup starting on Sunday, but we'll also have a AC League starting up again, probably a week after the end of the TCRs, but that we'll only announce probably next week sometime. And then, Stephen, of course, shout out from your side.
Just to you, Owen Glass, and all the guys that we raced with tonight. It was super good. The next round's going to be a monster. I don't know the track, so hopefully I don't have any bad habits, and I'll start practicing tomorrow.
It's quite
Please
a nice
stop behind
track.
me.
All right, well, thanks, guys. I'm going to jump off into a different room and finish up, so I'll say goodbye to all of you here, and I'll catch you guys next week.
Awesome, Dennis. Enjoy.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
All right, so that's it for this evening. Thanks for everyone for joining us. Thank you again to Alvin Glass for sticking by us and helping us out, making this possible. And thanks to everyone that joins us, drives with us, watches us. All of you guys make this possible and make it enjoyable for everyone else. So thank you to everyone that takes part in this. Thank you for making it happen. And join us again next week for the final round of the championship to see whether it's going to be Stephen taking the championship or whether it's going to be Dylan taking the championship. So we'll catch you then and have a good evening. If you like what you watched, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.